friends, welcome to Cities Skylines, where, well, all the indicators seem to be that the plague is upon us once again. This is a cyclic kind of eventuality going on, but, you know, as we zoom in, you can just see there are dead people everywhere. Now, in the last episode, we looked at where our ambulances were going, and it was basically, you know, all the way across the city. So, yeah, so we're going to go through a lean period for a bit, but as promised, I've actually come up with a larger project. I know. Yes, we're going to do something a little bit more grandiose, and it's also going to give you easy laughs on the basis of the fact that I'm going to basically delete quite a lot of what we've been looking at recently. So, what am I actually doing? See this industrial area here. Maybe I ought to do a prototype. No, I'm committed to this course. Basically, if I had some way of drawing, let's use the district tool to tour. Basically, everything in this area here is about to have a really bad day. I'm basically going to delete the whole thing because it's a right mess. I need to sort out the rail transportation of goods. It's quite attractive. And more besides, and I'm going to rebuild the whole thing. I want to get the traffic in this bit sorted, and that means dealing with the causes of those traffic problems, and that fundamentally is down to bad layout. So we're going to try and do good layout and hope that it resolves things. So there we go. So that's the plan. Now I'm not going to be able to do this with the game running. I mean, you know, as in unpaused, because to do so would drive a hell of a lot of people out of the city, and that's just not going to be helpful. Growing it again from scratch is going to take a significant amount of time. So I'm going to start out while it's running, so that some of this unclears, empties, however you wish to describe it, really. Right, off we go. No, it helps if you de-zone tools up, you fool. There you go. Right, yeah, I mean, you know, rash behaviour is, you know, is something that I have a reputation for on occasion, and this is no exception. We're putting them all out of business, including this office area down here. Now, the bad news is that we've got 3 solar plants here, so that's going to leave us with power trouble, which is largely why I want to get all these fools out of the area before I pause the game. Come on, clear off, the lot of you. Oh, hold on, how many dumps have we got here? I see at least one, right. You, there, empty. It is emptying. Okay, it's only 14% full. I'm going to run this as long as I dare, I think. Right, what are you? You're a police headquarters. Well, you know, not anymore. Yeah, get out of it. What are you? Well, never mind. I don't even know what that is. What is it? Sure, yeah, kill it. That looks like a hospital. Is that a hospital? No, it's a fire station. Whatever, it hasn't got any electricity. And now it's been bulldozed. Yeah, okay, so now I'm losing 40,000 a week. This is why I wanted to pause the game. Come on, people, hurry up. If I can get this landfill emptied, that would be helpful. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Right, we're going to have to pause. Before I blow all of the capital, I'm going to need to put the thing back together again. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is we're going to sever this road and those, and over here I'm going to get my big I junction actually up and running. Right, from there. It's basically like I'm quarantining this area. Typical. That's what going on. Anyway, the goal is to actually we'll leave that alone. is to be able to rebuild this with a far better layout. I mean, you know, now that we've cleared stuff away, you can start to see the roads that have kind of... I think I used the excuse of it being organic when originally building. And, oh yeah, they're organic all right, but they're also a complete nightmare. I'm trying to pack too much into too small a space. Don't know what that is, get rid of it. And the upshot is that it just creates traffic bedlam. Not enough routes to the different places they want to go. What's that? Is that a waste disposal kind of doodah going on there? I might leave this lot alone just for now. Also going to get rid of these two transit... come on, concentrate. Getting rid of those two cargo depot transit dealios because we're going to put them in better and we're going to have more of them in order to keep things moving. Oh yeah. Take that and party. Yeah, so I mean, this is quite a large investment in infrastructure that is now, you know, just being willfully destroyed. Get rid of that. But we will put it back together, and we will put it back together better. So at this point you're going to go like, oh, well, I wish the bulldozer had a more sizable nuking button. Yeah, whatever that is, it's in my way. So, okay, so goal one is going to be well, you know, replicate everything that we're currently taking out, but in such a way that traffic can move through it quite freely. And it was suggested in the last video by Cool and Calm Waters that you know, mass transit is the way forward if you want to avoid this kind of bedlam in the future. Yes, absolutely, mass transit is the future. If you can get any bugger to use it, then most certainly it makes a massive difference. However, until you've actually got your road network in such a fashion that buses can get to where they want to go, it's not going to help you at all. Not to mention the fact that it only moves passengers. So it only moves, you know, your foot traffic. It's not going to get all of those massive great trucks off the road. Don't get me wrong, getting passengers off the road helps as well. And, as I will be astutely corrected, you know, every vehicle that is not on the road because it's being replaced by a, you know, piece of mass transit is one less vehicle clogging up the lanes, causing my ambulance woes. For those of you who didn't watch the last episode, basically we had a dozen ambulances from one side of the city queuing to get over to the other side of the city because the ambulances on that second side of the city weren't able to do the job. And so I speculated that might be a causal reason. Causal reason? You can't say that. A reason? You can say that. A reason for the plague that crops up on a regular basis. So we're going to put that to the test. We're going to clear up some of the major traffic snarls. Oh, I've cut the power to the whole of that area, and these guys are having sewage problems. Oh, dearie me. Come on. There we go. Right. Let's kill it on there and there. Yeah, so, you know, this is the kind of ludicrously rash behaviour. I'm pretty sure I've got 1.8 million in the bank. I'm fairly optimistic that'll be enough to get this all rebuilt. It didn't cost me that much to build it in the first place. Which is potentially why it looks so terrible. Or rather, looked so terrible, given that I've murdered quite a lot of it already. Come on. You. There. Tree is a casualty of clearing. Okay, well, that took a little while. But what we have got going on here now is not one, not two, but in fact 3 of my marvellous new junctions, which I have forcibly inserted into the area. Now, it might look like overkill, but I am expecting this to be an extraordinarily high traffic kind of zone. So I wanted to make sure that everything can move as much as possible. And eventually, I'll probably put some kind of some easing facilities in for the time being, but the eventual plan will be to transfer these public service buildings onto the public service slip roads that I've got here to keep things moving along. So same goes for here. But what we're talking about in terms of this new industrial area is basically this whole area here I want to turn into industrial. Now, I'm not convinced that that's the best plan ever. Many of you will give me suggestions to imply that no, it's not the best plan ever. But my reason for doing so is I'm convinced that I can get this area in terms of traffic management to handle the volume that we're going to be putting through it. That's the hope, that's the plan, that's what we're going to try and achieve. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put cargo train terminals in place. Now, this is all important because these are the fellas that are going to generate an unholy amount of traffic. I mean, just a ludicrous amount of traffic problems. So I want to make sure that they are handled in such a way that pretty much they're isolated from the rest of the network, so that, you know, because I mean you're almost guaranteed to get queues. So I'm going to sort that out first. And what I'm going to do with these is they're going to be on a separate branch to the main. No, let's not use the super expensive road. They're going to be on a branch to the main train line as well. Let's just bash a bit of that in here so that we've got something we can latch on to. There we go. No, height's too high. The height is too high. Oh, that's a new one. It's not too high on the other side. Intriguing. Okay, right. Let's What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to delete this road. I want to move it. Well, move it then. Stop mucking about. There we go. Let's put that there. Right. Are you still going to imply? Oh, see, the height's not too high here. Most strange. Have you thought this through even remotely? Because that's going to put the train line crossing over those roads. Alright, yeah, okay. Alright, let's... Seriously, I've been building this, well, I've done a combination of building and deleting for the last kind of 20 minutes, and it's all been looking rather efficient and rather smooth. Maybe when I have to talk about things, I lose my my facility to make good decisions. There you go, that'll do, that's a good excuse. There we go, and one over there, and one over there. Now, I'm going to have, I think I'll probably aim for about 3 on this network. Does that sound right to you? Yeah, we'll have one here, we'll put one in that bit. And one there as well. I think that last one might be overkill, but I think we'll do it anyway, because we're not about half measures, people. We're about, you know, full bore. Let's go for it. Let's make something that's truly wondrous. Apparently, there's a bus line here. That's not going to be the most effective bus line you've ever seen. All right, there we go. Now, yes, this has got a... What, no, you don't connect train track to the road. What's the matter with you? What was I saying? Bus line? Was there something else? I was talking about half measures and... Oh, who knows? Anyway, right, yes. we want to make sure that we've got enough cargo being delivered, because that way it really will help fuel the growth of retail. And, you know, not that growth has actually been a problem particularly so far. I mean, there's been, you know, the occasional fluttering of people wanting more customers or more supplies. There we go. Right. So that's 3 cargo terminals right there. And we'll probably, because this whole section here is next on the agenda, that's the next one that's going to get the treatment. Alright, I'm okay with that. Now, so, here's the theory. We want lots and lots of routes off these highways, but we want it in such a way that it doesn't cause tailbacks. So, let's say, for example, I'm going to use the little drawing tool here. Let's say that we've got one good kind of industrial district there, we've got one here, and we've got one more there, right? So we've got 3 kind of separate sections. Now, historically, what I would do is I would have, like, you know, one slip road coming off here, and then a big old road linking the 3. This is actually quite a good demonstration tool. You know, and a big old road going down there with lots of little roads going into each one. That would all work in principle, except for the fact that this slip road would be just jammed the entire time. There would be no escape from the level of jamming that was going on there. So this time around, what we're going to try and do is have multiple. So probably between this eye and the next one, 5, 6, 7 offshoots. Ways off. Ways for people to get to a destination. And the ideal is that that will lead to much lower problems in terms of getting people going where they need to go. The other downside, the other thing that I need to kind of pay attention to is actually getting people back onto the highway as well. These big eye interchanges, they're not conducive with having additional roads kind of merging on. Alright, okay, what's the first move we're going to make here? And we're all about small roads. I'm gonna hold with the small road theory. Okay, so with the exception of getting to and from this container terminal. So you want to flow left to right, because people go into on the left-hand side and then back out on the right, and so you don't want them overlapping with one another if you can avoid it. So we want to go out here like that, and then get all this stuff pretty much straight onto the freeway. Okay, right, so that's that. We also need to make sure that people can get to it. So again, a one-way section is actually a pretty good, a pretty astute way to roll with this. Actually, let's do all of these while we're at it. Is that right? Yep, that's right. There we go. Right, so that's those done. And then from here, we want it to go both ways on here. So we're going to go underneath. And we're not going to give them any other choices. There's not going to be a, or alternatively you can head off this way. No, sir. You're either getting on the freeway or you're playing out of luck. Now this is going to be a pretty ugly bit of road, I reckon. Although if we start it under the bridge, it might look a little bit more glam when we're done. So we can effectively turn this into, should we keep it as one way? One way allows you to use both sides of the road, so it allows you a larger queue. That's it. Yeah, something like that. And then pop up and connect on. Like that. Just, you know, like a wizard. There we go. So that's for that side, and then this side we'll do something similar, but it will obviously be a branch off. This is the mantra: is everybody gets to where they need to go, right? So trucks coming on having picked up cargo can now just stick onto there or onto there, and that's it. This is a closed section of road. So the other thing we need to do for this is give people the means to get to it. Now, the obvious route would be to lie a piece of one way out from here to here. Alright, what's your problem with that? Well, it's going to snarl this road up. Or will it? Actually, this road's got plenty of capacity on it. I need to build a roundabout or something there, and I need to connect that back up again. There's actually quite a lot of... I've actually destroyed so much that there's a whole lot of work needs doing. Right, now, the other thing to be aware of is the temptation to actually now plumb this in with a whole bunch of businesses. Whether in industrial or commercial, they're all welcome here. The downside to that will, of course, be that you're generating extra traffic on an already high traffic area. So I'm going to, yeah, I am, except I'm going to make it low density. We don't need too much traffic on there. And the reason for using commercial rather than industrial, I might do industrial on the other side of the road. I haven't decided yet. No, I'm going to stick with commercial. Is because actually commercial is supplied by a lot of the stuff that comes off this train section. Does that feel wise? It doesn't. It doesn't feel wise in the slightest. But that's what we're going to roll with. Okay, so we're going to thin out the density of the roads that we were using before. So I'm going to stick a measuring stick down here. Now this isn't going to stay. Give me that, please. Right, there we go. Measuring stick. Okay, so here's our end. This bit I will disconnect momentarily. In fact, I'm going to do it now, but I'm just going to measure it first. As far as here. Right, okay, so this is going to be our first major link road. Let's go free form with this thing. Now this section at the end here is going to bear the brunt of quite a lot of traffic. There isn't an awful there are a lot of ways of avoiding that. Not until I bulldoze that as well, which is coming. I mean, basically, this is kind of a mini series that we're in now called Bulldozing Everything That Went Before, in the hope of making it nicer this time. Do you want it like that? Yep, I reckon we do. And then keep it moving forward. Right, and then, that road, we will slip road onto both sides of the motorway. And as you can see, they're really close together. There's not a lot of space in between those two junctions. And this will either work well, or it'll do the other thing. Wow, how to guarantee that you're right every time? Say that, well, it's either going to work or it isn't. There we go. That's the plan, right? People can come off, join this little road, and one of the benefits of these little roads, zero traffic lights. They don't want traffic lights to start with because they are such low capacity roads. Right, I want to come from about here. If I'm going to be lucky, which of course I am. There we go, magical. So that's the plan. I'm going to wrap it up here. But we're going to build that all the way along. We'll probably get another 3, I guess, in between those two. So much for 7. What a joker. But those are the only roads we're going to build on. So basically, we're going to try and get the same amount of industrial area into this zone. And I'm not just talking about this bit. I'm talking about all of over here and right the way up here. We'll get the same amount of industrial in there, probably more, maybe as much as double. But using up way more space, which will alleviate problems with pollution, and at the same time it will hopefully disperse the traffic in such a way that we don't end up with horrific queues. The only downside to this is I've pretty much got to build the whole thing before I can unpause the game. Otherwise disaster will happen. As you can see from the budget at the moment, I am currently blowing 40k a week, and that's in part due to having reduced the number of businesses and therefore tax income in the city. But secondly, what's the secondly? Oh yeah, we're in the middle of the plague again at the moment. So there you go. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of this in the very near future. Please leave comments. What do you think? Is this going to work? In fact, this is a good episode for you to make bets. Do you think this is going to alleviate traffic? Now that you've seen the plan, now obviously it's not going to work perfectly until I've moved this, but now you've seen the plan, do you think this is going to be a traffic alleviator, which is a word, because I said so, or do you think that, actually, no, failure doomed to? Let me know. Thanks for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll be back very soon. Cheerio.
This